Welcome to Slim's 57 channel. I'll give you a little background on buying this car and how I acquired it. We'd gone up to Vermont, my home state where I grew up, and my wife come up with me, which she's originally from down here in Florida, born and raised. And we'd been to New York and New Hampshire a few times when we were up that way visiting family. But she'd never been to the state of Maine, and she wanted to go, so my brother-in-law and sister set up a nice little ride up through New Hampshire and into Maine. And we'd stopped at the Welcome to Maine sign, took our picture, and then we got on around a few corners, and here it's set in this guy's dooryard with a for sale sign on it. So we turned around and went back and looked at it, and then continued on our trip that we were on. And I gave it some thought that night and called the gentleman back, and we went back on over the next day and did a lot more looking around underneath it and asking more questions about it. And obviously, you can see I purchased it and brought it back. And we drove it 100 miles back to my sister's place, and we were sitting around and talking about what it had for a motor, which it's got a 350 4-bolt main in it, with all the block numbers, out of a 74 full-size car. It had a turbo 350 with a shift kit in it and the original GM rear end. And so we were talking to see if it had posi or not, or if it would have been a one-wheel peel. So the best way to tell was put it out in the street and see what she was going to do out in the private driveway there and see what it was going to do. And it was a little lazy. It wanted just a one-wheel squeal, but I guess eventually that 57 rear end finally woke up and she started doing the posi burnout, but didn't like it. It hurt something in the rear end. I'm assuming it's probably the clutches, which I haven't even tore apart. They needed body mounts put in it, and they were going to do that while it was still up there. And I had a disc brake conversion on the front done with a power booster and power brakes done while it was up there. In the meanwhile, I ordered a 9-inch Ford to put in it, or a Moroso 9-inch. I guess it's not really a Ford rear end. And it was set up for a 57, bolt right in, with a set of 350 gears and a 2-track locker and 31 spline axles. My deal was to kind of make it a little sleeper car, grandpa sleeper car, and put a hopped up little motor in it. But I run it around a little bit, and of course highway speeds down here in Florida, try to keep up with traffic. It was turning some pretty good RPM, so I had a local transmission shop here in town build me a nice little 700 R4 to put in it. And we got driving it around like that, and I was trying to decide on what motor I wanted to order for it. And unfortunately, in March of last year, I got diagnosed with lung cancer. By June, I was in there getting part of my right lung taken out, and I did a few rounds of chemo. Got on through that and doing better, but kind of changed my way of thinking and how I was spending my money. And I decided, it's a good running old 350. It's a good cruiser car. I'm going to leave the motor alone and just try to put my money somewhere else in case something does happen to me. My family be taken care of. But it's, like I said, it's not a show queen. It's got a few, it's an older paint job. It's got a few nicks and scratches, and no rust bubbles or nothing coming through, but just some nicks and scratches in it. And bumpers need to be redone. They're, I think by the looks of them, the original bumpers. I think the hood trim piece has been changed. It's got some pretty nice chrome on it compared to the bumper. But overall, a pretty nice little ride, enjoyable ride. And I don't think there's really a whole lot else to talk about on it right now at this point. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to subscribe and like, I would appreciate it. Thank you.